guys, welcome back. Okay, so I went to Lowe's yesterday and I played Altergeist. It's not a fan favorite, of course, because of the nature of the deck. Just it seems very simplistic, very non-clever, right? It's set traps, Rovio Faker, and it seems like every deck profile I've seen on this particular deck, it seems that's to be the thing, to just introduce it that way. Like, it's not favored at all. But I'm really fond of the deck. It's one of my favorite decks, and I enjoy the sequencing that it provides, right? Especially right now, seeing as how Dragon Link is insane. Like, going second against that deck, you need all the help you can get because it's so aggressive. But then again, it's like you're not really an aggressive deck. The most aggressive thing you could possibly do is if you play 1-for-1 and then like link away and then go for like a Mario play, or if you play Hunter Rock like me, you can resolve Faker on your turn. But other than that, you can just set your traps and pass. And seals can't bounce anything unless you bounce something on their field, right? Herald and Savage, you can sequence your traps to where you bait them and then you clear their board, which is what Witch's Strike is meant to be doing in this particular deck, which is insane. You're trading 2 cards for their entire field and their entire hand. How has that not been explored? Like, it's so good. It's so good. Like, gammas everywhere. Like, oh my God. It's just really crazy. Let me go ahead and show you the deck list, because it's oh my God. It's not a standard build, all right? It's very unconventional. It's very okay, like, you know. But I'll try to explain it and make as much sense of it as I possibly can, so you can understand. Okay, so first off, Mario, right, is like insane. It's basically a Solemn Strike on its own, and the body if you don't use your protocol. And it's a reborn as well, which is insane. And of course the MVP of the deck's Faker. Faker just, that's how you generate all of your resources, and just snowball your opponent during the end phase. Ideally, you want to resolve this during the end phase, but if you're forced to, then you kind of have to do it during the main phase, battle phase, to survive, right? Or to interrupt a particular sequence that you see your opponent doing. But other than that, you mainly want to resolve the end phase. That's like the main priority you want to do, because you want to use those resources to link, right? And this is very different, not standard, right? Some of you play 1, but the standard is 2. But I really, ever since I picked up the deck, I've always played 3. Because I maxed out the traps, and the reason you max out the traps is because the desires. I'll get to it in a bit, but triple silk, it was saving me all day yesterday. All day, I would open one, and I would either draw into the other one, or one would just be banished off desires. So then I would oh my God, I played 3. It's so amazing. It would always save me, always. And I'll try to make much more sense of it. Why is that 3 as well? And of course, Seek is like amazing. On his own, like going second onto a board, it just applies pressure. That's like, what? Like, what? Of course, they can seal bounce it, which is kind of annoying. So like, you kind of have to like just like, kind of like, I guess, bait your opponent that you're gonna attack, but you don't attack. You just link it away right away. Right? We'll give him a chance to respond, right? And then of course, Conquery. Some of you have cut this card, but this card saved me so many times yesterday. So many times. It stops OTKs, it stops an overwhelmment. Like, it makes opening up silk and traps insane. Like, insane. Because they'll be like, okay, I'll just attack. No, bam. Bounce it, and then they try attacking. Okay, bam. You block 2 attacks. No, you block 3 attacks. You block the first one, right? Attack again, bounce it, bounce this, block second one, the third one, boom, right? And you didn't even utilize your traps, which is insane. Like, that's crazy, right? So of course you have your Conqueror. Amazing card. And then these are like the main goal second things, right? The things you just need to play, because otherwise you just get overwhelmed and it's not fun to play against like a established board majority of the time. I mean, you can manage, you can sequence your way into setting up some traps, but like this just makes it a lot easier. This and this, maybe Gamma, right? Of course, these 6 cards conflict with Faker, because once you resolve this, you can't resolve that. But that's another aspect of the deck, right? You can pick up the deck and then expect to do well, because I guess that's what I'm telling you, that it's been doing good for me, right? but you also have to have some insight knowledge and understand the meta, right? Like you have to understand when to interact, right? When to do it, when not to do it. Like some of you might use this on Romulus while you have this, but it's like, why would you do that? There's no reason to do that. Just let them do everything. Let them do everything. Once they get to the Savage, you do this and you chain this and you clear the whole board, and then this gets to the graveyard, and then that makes your other Gammas live, right? And that's it. 2 cards for the entire field, and their only follow-up after that would be a 11-year ad. Like, why? Like, you're trading 2 cards for the entire field. That's it, and then you're gonna have 4 more cards. Like, it's just crazy. And now I'm not playing Ash. Ash is very good, but Altergeist can't afford to play those type of cards because you need to remove things. You can't let them have any resources. That's how this deck wins. That's why the bounce is so powerful. You can't let them like imperm. That's why if imperm wasn't a trap that you can use from your hand, then I would not play it, because it's the only reason you play it is because you can trigger Faker, and that gives you the bounce. So I give you 2 interactions. Other than that, it's on its own, it's really bad. Like imperm on its own is just so bad. Like it's good because it has some merit to it. It doesn't lose to tactics. But like apart from that, I would rather have like something that destroys or something that removes the factor out of the equation. But yeah, that's why I play just these. These are just amazing. So you play 3 of this with an imperm, right? Those are your hand traps. And of course, you play Triple Pot of Desires. Okay, so majority of you remember when this deck first got like popular, right? They utilized Desires, right? But after Extravagance got released, they just stopped playing this and just played Extravagance because they didn't prioritize the extra deck. Whereas I see it totally differently. Having the extra deck as a toolbox just makes his deck completely different. The way it's played, the link cross play, it makes crackdowns much more valuable because you can actually utilize those materials compared to just crackdowning and just having it sit there and then eventually having them pop the crackdown and getting the monster back. Like that's super annoying. That's super annoying. Like, you know how easy it is to take a link 2 or link 3 and make an access code? Like that's insane. That's crazy, dude. Like why would you do that? This is what the that's just crazy. And that's why you max these out again as well, because like you play Desires, you don't want to be losing all your silks, and the bounce is very important. Like this is the reason why Faker is good, because of the bounce and the Seek Search. Okay, so that's for the monsters, right? And then you have your traps. Okay, so you have your in pro order. You have to main deck this. At first, I wasn't main decking this, but you just have to. Feather Duster, Lightning Storm. It's just really annoying to deal with. And of course you play Skill Drain. I wasn't a fan of this at first. I tried it briefly, but then I just cut it because no, it's not good. But damn, is this good? This is so good, especially when you sequence him off like with your if you have Protocol in the field and you open this. Oh my god, what can they do? They can't do anything. Like it's just so crazy. Like it's a blanket effect. Just like get everything on the field. They can't do anything. It's just it makes the game so much more smoother and easier. And then Hunted Rock, because having the chances of opening up so many monsters, so many Geist monsters, right, is so annoying. Which is why I didn't like playing the 40 card builds, because there's so many normal summons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 normal summons, right? And like even in a combo deck, people are stretching it to 5 or 6, and it's like you're gonna draw multiple normal summons. So that's the whole point of adding a higher in the card count. Just I would rather draw into traps than drawing into monsters. But if you draw into monsters, then you have this as an option, because this gives you the Hextia into the link cross play, and it just boosts your consistency that way, and it gives you bodies on board to just block, right? Because that's the majority of the issues with this deck. Like you just die when they clear everything, but all you need is one more turn to just live, because you'll be adding stuff back off Silk, off like add back the trap, add back Faker. So you need one more turn to just live, and then you just gradually try to get the game back that way. And yeah, that's why that's there. Like it's a brick. It's annoying when you draw it. Like honestly, it is. Like it really is annoying the amount of times I've drawn into it, which is why I'm not a fan of like Yu-Gi-Oh statistics. Like I was making a little saying that Yu-Gi-Oh ratios are a myth. Like they are. Like honestly, you draw this so many times. The amount of times I draw this, like what the? Oh my god, it doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense. Then of course you have your spoofing. It's just another consistency card. With same reason why I'm maxing on these. One for desires, and two because when you open up any of these traps and any of your Geist cards, it just I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just really good. Like if you open up this and seek, it doesn't matter if they ask this. You know, it doesn't matter. Like you just get to get it back anyways. Like you're always gonna have access, like your access to Faker, which is what I noticed when I was playing like other builds with just 1 and 2 or you know there was like they were playing like one of each, a very minimal amount. It was really like okay I don't know, man. It there was a lot of instances where I just didn't have a target for this. It was a lot of times I would have like I have interactions. I have torrential, like crackdown, like compulse. Some people put compulse, strike, solemn. Like I would have all that, right? But then I just wouldn't have a Geist card, and I'm like, oh my god, I would draw this, and then I would just not draw any of the Geist card. It was a really uncomfortable situation. But like if you draw this and or like silk and this, like even that alone can be huge. The amount of times I bounced a black metal, a normal summon black metal, and they just passed because they couldn't. Because once you let them snowball their resources, it's kind of hard to decipher where to hit them, right? So if you just hit the black metal, then that means that they have to have another 2 extenders to make the Romulus. But then what would they make? Romulus or Halcyon. But then if they make Romulus, they just strike the Romulus. And then how else are they how else are they make help? How else? Unless over the counters, but you can have your traps as well. So you see what I mean? Like you can go summon this, pass, right? Set these 2, go. Okay, they get the first effect. Okay, bring this back. You have a bounce, right? Or you can just go leak it away for Almirage, and then bring it back, right? Like it just I don't know. Just the things you can do, which is maxing these out, is amazing. It's just really cool. I can't stress it enough. And of course you have your generic traps, right? Your triple strike, amazing going second. Crackdown because you utilize the extra deck so much. Like you utilize it. Like it gives us much more value instead of just taking something just to take it. Like this takes it and you're gonna do something with it, which is scary. If you think about it, like it's scary. Like it's a control deck, but it can potentially OTK you. Like that's how crazy is that? Because you play sword as well. You play sword. Then of course blowout cards. You play equalizers, right? You play Torrent Tribute. This is like Seek's attack. It's the big tidal wave, like Seek. Oh my god, Seek attack. It's really good. It's good paired up with basically any other trap. Go in second. You can review your Faker, right? Summon. Chainlink 1, if they do something to it, you chain this, right? Because it's still within the summon window. And then if they try to negate it, then you have this. That's why this is what I like about having multiples of this, because you're always gonna have it. Sending with strike or sending with this, you just negate it and then resolve the thing, and then you summon your Faker target, which is huge. And of course imperm, like this just imperm Faker, it just makes it like to where it's just amazing. But yeah, like it's such a higher card count, right? But I would much rather prefer drawing interactions than drawing like a bunch of monsters. Of course you can like minimize this or like play like 1 or play 2, but even then I just hated drawing multiple monsters. So I would much rather draw into like a bunch of interactions, right? Like this as well, this, and then like top deck into Geist cards, right? Like if you open up this, and you draw top deck of 1 card, that'll slowly it'll be enough, right? It'll be enough. You'll be surprised. Of course, because like the scenarios you imagine, right? It's like, okay, thinking about you getting Lionstorm, you getting Fire Duster, you getting rebooted. That's worst case scenarios, but that's not the only scenario. Like you gotta consider that too. That's not the only scenario, but that's why this deck is disregarded. Because oh yeah, it's obvious and it's apparent why the deck loses. Well, of course if they open that. The amount of times I've gotten rebooted and lost, that's pretty much the only time I like it's been like that much of a blow. I just reboot, okay, can't do anything. I'm like, what the hell? Like you just can't do anything about that card, but those are just unfortunate scenarios. But yeah, but the MVP of the day, of the deck in general, was this card. This card, I played 3, but I couldn't find a third one. But this card makes it to where you go in second is, oh my god, it's so easy. It makes the especially against Dragon Link, because if you draw this and any set of traps, even if you draw Faker, they negate one thing. They negate one summon, they negate one activation of a spell trap, anything. Okay, let me close it up so you can read it. Okay, so you can check it out, read it. Right, and you can pause it. Right? This, you're trading 2 cards. All you're doing is trading 2 cards for their entire field and the entire hand. How crazy is that? What the fuck? How is that not good? How is that not good? Like, that's just insane, dude. Like, and how? Oh, you're gonna play around it? How are you gonna play around it? You only utilize this when you know it's gonna be inevitable, right? You don't just do it. Okay, flip it. You do it when you know it's gonna be inevitable. That's when you flip it, right? And that's when it comes down to knowing the meta, right? If you understand what the best decks do and what they're capable of, then you can sequence all your traps, your interactions the right way, in the optimal way. Because otherwise, you're gonna be stopping stuff that doesn't matter. Like what? Like some people would utilize this and this the same turn, but not in the same sequence. Like, why would you use this when you have this? Like, let's say, let them do everything. Let them waste the resources. Because, like, combo decks don't have that much, like, grind game in them, right? So, let them, on the last summon, Torrential, this. Nibiru, this. Like, just, you're trading 2 cards for everything. It's just essentially the same thing. You're baiting something to make this sure that it resolves. And, yeah, like, this is a control deck. It's a conservative deck. You're not meant to be, like, OTK, so you can like take the slow route and you can sequence out multiple cards, not just one card combo, one card this. That's nice, that's your Faker, but it's a trap deck. You know, it's the fundamental of a trap deck is setting up a trap, like setting up sequence that like make it to where your opponent doesn't really know what you're doing, and then once I know, it's too late. Crazy, right? So crazy. But yeah, just give it a try, man. I know it seems like but like the minute you like. Just try it, man. I'm just telling you, just try it. Okay, so at side deck, you play Triple Mystic Mine when you go second, right? Then of course you play Cosmic Cyclone, because a lot of times, people don't expect you to make certain decks go second, which is what I do. I let people go second because most of the time they're gonna have Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, Reboot, evenly matched. But then if you let them go first, I mean, that saves you for Lightning Storm. That's like, if they draw 2 Lightning Storms, then that's dead because they have a monster on the field. Like, that means you don't have to fear Lightning Storm anymore. Like, that's crazy. Regeki, these are insane. You activate this, right? And this, like, what? Like, what are you gonna do with that, dude? This is just amazing against all backrow decks. Regeki, just amazing. And then of course one Duster. I was playing triple Duster, but then I was like, what? Why don't I just play this? Like, what? So yeah, and then I just board wipe basically. Seems very budget like, but it's actually not bad at all. Which is 4. It's instant bait for sure, instant bait. And of course you have your evenly matched, and then of course Solemn Judgment when you know you're going first, right? I was main decking these like a while ago in the beginning, but it was just like a trending thing, and it's not necessarily something that, okay, it's actually legitimately good. It's just like straight up, if you just want to win, like, okay, if I win a die roll, I'm gonna win regardless. But even then, it's kind of like, it just takes away the grind that a deck normally has if you play this, because cuts your outputs in half. It cuts it in half, man. That's like a few turns of you trying to grind, like, you know, like, it just, and I didn't like that, so I just ended up studying it. Other than that, the deck was amazing, dude. Let me go ahead and change the extra deck, because the extra deck is very important. Of course, you have your triple Hextia. Normally in the standard Geist deck, this would be like the main MVP of the deck. Of course, it is here too, but it's just part of it. This is just part of it, right? Because this is how you just establish your negation board, and yeah. And of course, you make this. You take Dragoons. Oh my God, you make this so much. You make every single thing in here. This is the only thing that I don't really make. Okay. But you make every single thing in here. This is the only thing you don't really make that much, but everything gets utilized, and I've summoned it. Like, I've summoned everything, basically. Everything. Every single thing I've summoned. Go this, the token survive, make this, make this, make this, make this into this, and then summon a Mario. Like, how crazy! Dude, oh my god! And if you have Crackdown, and you freaking look. If you have Crackdown and you have the token set up right, because you'll search off something, like you're gonna win next turn, because you're gonna just stop them with your traps. And odds are, if you do the Hexia play, you're gonna have a monster negate. Not monster negate, a spawn trap negate and a bounce, right? Because you're gonna add Faker or you add Manny, and the fact that you play so many of these, you're gonna have these as well, so you don't have to search for them. But most of the time, that's what happens. I would have like, I'll do the Hexia play. I'll go this, do this, right? And to get 2 tokens, search whatever I'm missing, and then set traps, pass, go. And then I'll standby. I'll make this live with a spell trap negate in case of Lightning Storm, like a main deck Lightning Storm game 1. And then I'll need to negate a spell trap and then bounce something. And then when I try to progress after that, I'll crack down, right? And then I still have my tokens, and I still have this because they weren't able to just get rid of it. And then you just link climb, and then you just summon your Mario. And it, oh my god, I can't stress it enough, man. Just give it a shot. This deck just gets a bad rap, but like, it's really fun. Like, especially when you have all these toolbox things. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.